Is this the best value decent dashcam of 2024? Superb low-light image quality meet smart design and a crazy good price in 70mai's latest, called the A510. How is all of this possible? Let's inspect. Hi, welcome here. I guess it's time for a few minutes worth of brilliance, or at least figuring out how the next attempt to make the perfect dash camera by 70mai went, and which are the strong and the weak sides, and explore everything that really matters about it. Welcome to the channel, great to meet you. I'm the Tech Mishka. As usual, we inspect a lot of cool and interesting tech. And over here, bunch of tests and everything you need to know about this dashcam. We're jumping straight to the video quality analysis. Most 2024 dashcams won't let you down. Some of them are going to match the expectations, some will impress you. Feels like the 70mai A510 belongs to these rare-to-see impressive devices. Nighttime performance is what really matters with most of the dashcams. It's the element which helps you to find out which of them stand out. This here is among the best performing in low-light car DVRs I've seen in the recent years, maybe the best one in this price niche, but let me confirm this after I get to use it as a primary dashcam for a few months first. 70mai have developed their own take on tuning the footage according to their night owl vision technology. I didn't get a clear answer whether it is based on a custom-built image signal processor or relies on software and firmware tuning, but results are astonishing. There are two major contributing factors for the good videos here. The very wide aperture, being f by 1.8, means that there's a wide open lens with great light throughput, and of course the use of a Sony STARVIS Generation 2 image sensor. I underline it is not a 4K one or like a 3K sensor because it records in 1944p, which has its good advantages due to the pixel density in 4K. The field of view for the front unit is quite wide, not the widest we've seen with dashcams, but in order to keep the distortions in tolerable levels, 70mai stick to 140-degree FOV, which is even wider than what you'd get from a smartphone's ultra-wide camera, close to how wide the GoPros are. The footage recorded by the rear module is a bit narrower, being around 130 degrees. The rear module is very lightweight and compact, has angle adjustment option, and even flip options from within the app, captures videos at 25 frames per second, which I have tuned to 30 in post-production so that it doesn't look stuttery because of the different frame rate on the entire video. In daytime, the 1080p resolution delivers decent quality. In nighttime, it is a hit or miss, depending on how strong the front lights of the cars behind you are. The A510 arrives in a nice and decent pack. Some of the most interesting specs and features are highlighted on the box, but as usual, we want to analyze these numbers, terms and statements, and get to see how and whether they really contribute to better user experience. A wedge-shaped front module comes out first. It can work independently, without the rear one, hosts the computing power of the dashcam, and this is where you can also operate and configure the menus if needed. A rear module is also included. It has much more modest specs, as we may find out, but still something to deliver rather good quality of footage. A few accessories are included as well, for easy mounting, and of course a user guide to help you to better understand how to get the most out of your new car DVR. Going through the specs feels great because there's a Sony STARVIS Generation 2 image sensor, a powerful Novatech processor, video resolution which is up to about 3K, the front unit has 140-degree field of view, there's an inbuilt GPS, a 500 mAh battery, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi plus cloud connectivity option, and very convenient to use smartphone app. Definitely, the hardware here represents a great value pack, something that is unbelievably good for a price starting at close to $100, and I underline that this would be the price only for the front unit. If you want to buy the rear camera and the 4G module, of course the price goes a bit higher. And although this is already quite a popular model, I think it's somewhat overshadowed by the A810, which involves a 4K sensor. Here, 70mai do not rely on a 4K image sensor, which, in my opinion, is a big advantage because it has to do with the size of the image sensor, the pixel density, and the light reaching each individual pixel. Here, we rely on a 5 megapixel image sensor, which results into a resolution 16:9 format at about 1440p. And immediately I'm showing you a side-by-side comparison to the dash camera, which has been a primary one in my car up until now. And the conclusion is that the 5 megapixel sensor here of 70mai easily beats the 4K recording on the right. Mostly thanks to the image sensor behind the lens, which is belonging to the Sony STARVIS Generation 2 line, specifically developed for exceptionally good low-light performance with dash cameras. So now we know more about the specs. Let me guide you through the installation process. There are two paths that you may take: power sourcing from the car SIGA lighter port or using a hardwire kit. And in any of these cases, you still need to mount the dashcam first. Better place it opposite the driver's seat at an area which is not going to disturb you while you're driving. Use one of these folios provided in the pack, just as I did. You're gonna thank me later when you decide to change its location or unstick it from the glass. The next step is to find a path to let the cables reach the power source, and of course to mount the rear module. The whole process is mostly hassle-free unless you decide to go for a hardwire kit. In this scenario, you're gonna need better understanding how you can reach the fuse box in the car and link the ACC and the VCC lines. A car electrician is certainly gonna be helpful if you lack this kind of knowledge. Once you're ready to go, you might want to check the configuration. As we can already notice, A510 is having a 2-inch display plus the hardware buttons, which means that configuration is possible even without the need of a smartphone app. Most of these settings are well grouped, easy to understand and tune. In terms of resolution, I'd suggest 16:9 aspect ratio, because if you run 4:3, it is only suitable for trucks. You can still use it, it's just gonna capture too much of the sky or the car's front side. For the time being, I've kept most of the default settings, and you can additionally get to adjust the exposure, the bitrate, a bunch of extra settings and so on. For easier configuration or getting to download the recordings, there also is the smartphone app. Just open it and it feels like you're controlling a true DVR, and it goes beyond just the files, allowing you to point to a specific time frame and cut only the scenes that you really need. There also is a map function, which lets you check the details of your route, and in some countries, there's an optional cloud module, whereas you can buy a 4G kit and connect to the dashcam from anywhere via the smartphone app. Scrolling up and down the menus, and here we can activate the parking mode feature. I remind you that it requires the use of a hardwire kit, and there are two choices: to rely on collision detection or using a time-lapse function which records 2 frames per second and can fit hours worth of footage within a ridiculously small file size. The dashcam is smart enough to detect whether you use a hardwire kit or not and notifies you once it starts the parking surveillance. It's good to know that there also are emergency recording. These are protected files, they can't be deleted, and you can manually trigger such using this button. On top of that, they are buffered, and this is going to add 5 seconds before the emergency situation. A510 supports fast Bluetooth pairing, so your phone is going to automatically connect to the hotspot once it is available. The app is tidy, with all these menus nicely grouped. You can also enable ADAS from here, Advanced Driver Assistance System. It will warn you in case you depart the lane, or in case there's a potential threat, or in case the car in front of you goes moving. It can be very helpful in the city. I did mention copying the recordings, so let me show you an alternative: getting the microSD card and copying those to a computer. The A510 supports cards with capacity of up to 256 GB, and note that you should use a model allowing fast writing speeds, such as Class 10 U3 cards. Here's an audio test. I'm driving right now with about 65, close to 70 kilometers per hour. You can actually see the value at the lower end of the screen, and this is how the internal microphone of 70mai A510 actually sounds. What we have so far? Excellent performance and many superlatives about the user experience. So, did I find any drawbacks during testing? Well, yeah, luckily there is nothing major, and firmware and software both have been extremely stable, but I feel that 70mai could add a CPL filter option kit, bring in some more advanced car battery protection via a firmware update, and probably think about releasing a revision with a supercapacitor instead of a battery, despite the excellent temperature tolerance even as it is. In this particular case, the car has spent the entire afternoon under the sunshine in one of the hottest days of the year, no issues at all. I think that in the end the message that 70mai send is very clear. Uncompromised quality at a price which is kind of impossible to beat. This is what the A510 by 70mai represents. And truth is that for a bit more than $100, well, obviously with the rear camera and the cloud option that's going to cost a bit more, but in 2024, great low light dash camera performance at a budget-friendly price with cloud compatibility is already a reality. I think it's very easy to like the A510. A lot of great features, some tiny drawbacks, and probably a bit overshadowed by its bigger brother, the A810. That's everything I wanted to share with you in regard to this new dash camera. In case you have questions or something you want to add from your own experience or something that you feel is related to this review, please add it in the comment section below the video. And in case you want to buy this one or you want to support my work here on the channel, check the video description area. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Make sure to give the video a like, stay subscribed, drive safely and responsibly, and I guess I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!